Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Tricia Montgomery, and you are listening to Pets Are Family. Hi, Tricia.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain today. I could, but nobody cares.
I care. I
I
care.
used
Even if I
to.
never give you a chance to have it worded edgewise,
You
I
always
care.
care. You always care. You're one of the few that always care. I do know
I
that,
love
you
you.
know.
I
You
love
always
you.
care.
Oh
You're
my
one of the
gosh.
few people
How
that are going to send a picture to him like, hey, do you like this nail color? What do you think about this hair color?
I'm like, something's going on with my nails. I don't know what color they put on me. It was like a chrome. I'm like, what? That
I
very
like
important appointment.
that was funny on Friday.
Oh,
You're like, I got some, or you were talking to me about something. You're like, oh, I'm like, I was in a very, very important high level meeting. You wrote me back. You're like, really? What was that about? I'm like, get my hair color.
which it looks absolutely stunningly beautiful. You have gorgeous. You just look absolutely beautiful. Absolutely
you,
beautiful.
I just wish you could have seen that. I wish I could have seen your face when you're reading that.
I'm like, okay, okay. Me too. I'm getting my nails done.
Right?
Oh my gosh. So we today have the one, the only, the man that needs no introduction on with us today, Steve Dale. And uh, just, I was reading, I was on Facebook scrolling, and I was obviously, I follow Steve, and I'm like, what is this about sleeping with your dog? And we all know that I'm a massive believer in sleeping with your dog. And yeah, I would choose a dog any day over
Right. I
anybody
know.
else, which is probably why I'm still single.
Could be.
So
I can't answer that
could be,
question.
could be, but I love it. And I have Frank now, and Frank decides that he, is gonna like cuddle up, and he's like right here, he's right here, he's right here, he's everywhere, and now he's laying across all the pillows, and I'm pushed off with his little paws. He's kneading me off the bed. That I found myself actually to go around the other day and go into the other side of the bed because his small little 14-inch whatever his body had kicked me out of bed. Are you
Oh, yeah.
sleeping? Are you guys sleeping with Brutus now?
Nope,
No,
Brutus
no.
sleeps in his own crate. He has Brutus has his bedroom and I have mine. Nope, Brutus is he's 100% crate trained. He does not sleep with us, and he's
Well,
not going to. Nope. I'm an avid believer in crate training for the first year and a half to 2 years. That's his safe
okay.
place. Soon as that I at night I'm like, let's go to bed, dude. And he goes out to pee. I grab him and he comes running up the stairs and I go, let's go to bed. He goes running into the room, goes right into his crate, sits down and waits for his nighttime snack. He gets it. I shut the door. He fluffs up his little pillow in there, gets all settled in. I get settled in and him and I go to sleep.
I'm
It's
at. I must
yeah,
be the
I'm having a
worst
hard
pet
time
parent
potty
ever.
training though. That's where my struggle is real. But no, he's no. I Teddy was 100% not capable of handling a crate, and it took me a long time to get him comfortable in a crate. And I swore I would never do that again. And when I got Brutus, I was like, you are going to like a crate. And it's not that I want to punish him. It's more because if he has to go to the vet, which he has already, thank you, Bin Laden. He's he's had to go to the vet, and when you do an emergency drop off, they hang out in a crate all day, and
Yeah.
I don't want him in the back. You know what I mean? Which I'm sorry, all of you, I don't want him back there going, oh, howling, and you hear that one dog where you're like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
so sorry, that
safety.
is
It's safety though. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I
right.
get it. Get
So
it.
it's not a cruel thing. I want him to know that in sitting in
It's
a
a safe
crate is
space.
right. It's a safe space. It's okay. It's you know what I mean? And he crawls in and goes right to sleep. He knows that it's his space, and he he's okay with it. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually when he gets a little bit older, he can we'll transition him out and he can make a choice. But right now, nope.
Yeah.
That's his bedroom.
Well, it's interesting, you know, I'm in Florida, and so now they've been doing Cape Coral Animal Shelter and some other places around here have been doing crate, you know, introducing your dog to a crate and actually giving away free crates because we'll be coming into hurricane season here. And if your dog's never been in, you know, a safe space or in a crate and trying to get that in there when you're trying to evacuate, you know, I know we're talking about sleeping, but that's still equally important, you know, that they've got to
Yeah.
have that safe space. And how, and we were at the veterinarian, and there are dogs like getting pulled everywhere. People, I'm like, oh, I'm not coming back to this veterinarian anymore. But that's another thing. But yeah, so we're talking
That's
today.
another podcast. But
I
yeah,
know. So today, just real quickly, according to a survey by American Pet Products Association, 62% of small dogs, 41% of medium-sized dogs, and 32% of dogs sleep with their owner. That's according to WebMD. And then in a recent study, 2,400 U.S. adults conducted by YouGov in 2021 on behalf of Mattress Company. Let's give them a shout out. Slumberyard, hello, Slumberyard. Hello, Slumberyard. Thank you. We're looking for sponsors. Said they'd rather share a bed with their dog than their domestic partner. So I find that really interesting. And then they had an incredible TikTok video on there too within this article, but I saw it because Steve Dale actually was a contributor on here. And Steve says, our sleep is sometimes actually disturbed by whittling dogs, occasional barking, and those dogs who snore. So he really gives both sides to the point. But on the other side of that, he also says the close contact created a sense of security and familiarity, fostering a deeper emotional connection. And studies support that oxytocin, the so called love hormone, rises for dogs and people, and there's a sense of security. So let's bring on Steve Dale and let's hear what he says about sleeping with your dog.
I will. I'll go get him. But remind me at the end. I got to tell you a story about snoring with dogs. But let me go get him now.
Steve Dale, we have you back again, and I am so excited about this topic. Was going through Facebook, and all of a sudden I saw the article from Newsweek, which you were amazing contributor to that article on sleeping with your dog. That age old question, sleeping with your dog. I love to sleep with my dog. I feel better when I sleep with him. I get a better night's sleep. He takes up the whole bed. I have this much. He's got this much. But I love that. Talk to me, because this was such an interesting article, because you had both, like, people are like, no, you know, he smells, he farts, you know, he snores. I'm like, I don't care, but go ahead. Tell us about what prompted this. And I know there's some fascinating numbers out there. Let's talk about sleeping with your dog. And first of all, my first question is, do you sleep with your pets?
No, they allow us to sleep with them. And I'm talking about both the dog and actually the cat as well. That typically
Okay,
now cats sleep where?
on the top of your head.
Oh, well, the question is where do in the house, if it's an indoor cat, where in the house does the cat sleep? And the answer is, of course, wherever the cat wants.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, we have no control over that. And many cats do sleep with us. In fact, a percent of cats that share their beds with us is even higher than the percent of dogs that share beds with us, just by a couple
Really?
of percentage points. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So it
So,
dispels a notion about cats not wanting to be with us. But I'll talk about dogs for a moment. So one thing, slumbers something.com did a survey, and it turns out 24%, so a quarter of the people, would rather sleep with their dog than their significant other, which is kind of scary. In addition to that, there are specific reasons why people would want to sleep with their dog. And what my pal, Dr. Marty Becker, has been saying for decades now, and please quote me on that, for decades, Dr. Becker, is that our dogs have gone from outdoors in the yard to in our house to in our bedroom to
Mhm.
in our beds. He's actually wrong about that because it was Cro-Magnon men and women. I don't know why they say Cro-Magnon men that
Okay.
actually shared their habitats with, they weren't even dogs yet. They were dog wolves still. They were still in the process. This wolf species that is no longer around has evolved into our dog
Okay.
and Canis familiaris. And there is evidence, archaeological evidence, that we shared. I don't know that there were beds per se, but we shared the space with them and they slept like snuggling right with us in their caves, or they weren't caves, they were like outdoor habitat things,
It's like the
that were made
Flintstones.
from,
It's the
yeah,
Flintstones,
yeah.
like Fred Flintstone. He takes like the bedrock and he puts him out. I remember that.
So it turns out
Look
that
at all this.
Dino was the exception if Dino didn't sleep with Wilma and Fred. And it turns out that it's fascinating to think about that because they weren't quite yet dogs, yet we
Yeah.
trusted them. I don't think there was a lot of birth control back then. So we trusted them with our babies. Spay neuter was not a big thing then. And they trusted us with their puppies. I
Yeah.
mean, and I suspect that sometimes bad things happened, not so much to their puppies, though maybe, uh, but more over to our infants. But then that dog or wolf dog or whatever it was probably eliminated. So there is the process of domestication right there.
Right.
But this happened thousands of years ago where we
Yeah.
shared space. Now, there were probably practical reasons for that. There weren't space heaters back then. So the dog wolves provided warmth. There was also not, I don't think the alarm companies were around yet. So when big saber tooth things came, the wolf dogs would warn us, but we would also protect them. There had to be something in it for them. And it gets off the topic a little bit, but the relationship we have with dogs is incredibly special.
Yeah.
Okay, that we all know, but in part it's because it's the first time ever, as far as anybody knows, in the history of the planet, the two carnivore species actually partnered together for the benefit of each. And then I'll stop there because that leads down a whole different road as to why that happened and all of that. But it's fascinating to know. Now, let's fast forward the clock to today. Why do people share their beds with their dogs
Or cats, right?
or
Yeah.
kids? But this specific study was for dogs. So why do people do this with dogs? And it turns out that one speaks poorly of our society and probably wasn't too different. So we're not worried about saber-tooth things, but we are worried about security. And
Yeah.
the number one reason is security, and the number one group that says that are women that live alone.
Mhm.
So that, in a way, isn't necessarily a surprise. And it didn't matter whether people had a little puffy dog, like a little French poodle thing. Is that what you call it? That's not quite right. A toy poodle. I apologize. I did not mean to offend poodle people. So a toy poodle to I don't know, a mastiff or some such thing. It doesn't really matter. Women felt safer with any dog.
Mhm.
Another reason is, how do I say this? Unlike guys who, or women, who might have 3 margaritas before bed and therefore need to get up a few times over the night, dogs generally don't do that. So once a dog is past puppy stage, except for a small percentage of geriatric dogs who have lost control, dogs don't get up at 3 in the morning and say, oops, gotta go now. And that getting up at 3 in the morning apparently disturbs enough people where they feel more
Right.
comfortable with their dog for that reason, actually. It also is something that seems to be bonding on both ends. So,
Mhm.
dogs, I believe, no data here as far as I know, are more bonded to us when we share sleeping quarters with them, which I guess could mean us going down to where the dog bed is, or they coming up to where our beds are, and we
Which
feel
is much more
more
comfortable.
bonded. Yeah, well, You haven't slept in our bed. But we feel much more bonded as a result of that. And there's data to actually show that that is the case as well. Now,
Right.
there's another side of the coin, though. There are studies that indicate that sleeping with your dog is not necessarily always beneficial. There are problems.
Right.
So one of the things that was said in this slumber yard, I forgot the name earlier, but it's called slumberyard.com. One of the points of their survey, which was further down on the list actually, is my dog doesn't snore, but my significant other does. But it works both ways. So the most
Right.
popular dog now, according to the American Kennel Club, which means little, which is a whole different conversation, but
Hmm.
they are popular, are French bulldogs. Pugs are popular. Bulldogs are popular. A lot of the dogs that snore, and they do. We also live in a nation where over 50%, as you know, of our dogs are overweight or obese. So they are,
Right.
in general, more likely to snore. Some
Hmm.
senior dogs, particularly those who happen to be overweight or obese, of any breed or mix, are more likely to snore. So it's not that dogs don't snore. And when they do, there have been studies done to indicate, well, sleep loss can occur because it wakes us up with the partner with two legs or four legs that happens to snore. Also, some dogs have sleep apnea and they, so it's not exactly snoring, but it's enough to wake us up. Some dogs move around all over the bed at night. You know, they're here, they're there, they're there. They're kind of restless sleepers for whatever reason. They do wake us up, and that isn't necessarily good for our sleep either. Some dogs will hear any noise, any little noise at 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
No.
We
Yeah.
want them to warn us, but not about any little noise, right? So
Right.
a leaf blows off the tree outside and the dog goes woof, 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 woof. Well, that wakes you up if it keeps happening and happening and happening and happening, right? And some dogs are like that. So it's not always beneficial that we share our beds with our dogs. Oh, one more thing, and that is parasites. What's so funny? Parasites. So some people, though they should protect against fleas and ticks, don't, and therefore the dog shares those parasites with us, and we get, as you could tell, you're one of those who has a problem with that. So we get scratchy and itchy as a result of that too at times. Now I'm
Steve,
done.
I love you. I
Oh,
love it.
one more thing.
So,
No, no,
but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. So
no.
I know that for a while I did not have a dog, and when I lost Moose, and I've always slept with my dogs. I always have. There's a comfort there. I'm single. It doesn't matter, So there, I like that. I feel comfortable with that, and I know that when Moose passed away, I had a hard time sleeping because I was so used to him being beside me. Even if it was at the foot of the bed or whatever. Um, and now I have a dog, and he sleeps with me, and I sleep so much better, so much sounder. It doesn't matter if he takes up the entire. I have a California king bed, by the way, and it's just me and my dog. And so he like takes up like this much room, and I'm literally on the side, like trying to hang on for dear life. But I like that. I'm good with that. But he's a heat machine, and like he produces a lot of heat. But I think for me personally, I think it's healthy. And I would think that most people are going to say, Trisha, I agree with you because it's me saying it's healthy. And yeah, and just those benefits. And I feel better just because there is a bonding. There's been something that is just like he looks, I wake up and he's like, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, good morning, And so there's that great bond. The first thing that we do is go out in the morning, have some fresh air. He goes to the bathroom outside. I don't, but it all works out.
Yeah, I understand, and I completely agree with that. What kind of bed did you say you have?
I have one of those
California
big
king.
California king beds. It's like massively
What is
huge.
that? What I don't, is that different than a Delaware king bed because it's a smaller state?
It's probably so. I think it is a little bit smaller. No, a California king bed is really just so that it's the same size on all. So like the length of your body, the length of the bottom of the bed, it's just a larger bed. And I just because I'm so tall, so I can also lie diagonal, which is really good for me too. So it's just that and the pillows. It's good. So my question is, and maybe you could answer this for me. So what about if your dog brings like a lamb chop in bed with him, as well as like he has a toy that he brings in bed? Is that the same thing? Maybe.
Well, so that's, yeah, there are downsides. So can I tell you a story that you won't tell anybody?
Yes, this is lamb chop, by the way.
Sure, we won't tell anybody.
Jessica, don't tell anybody.
I won't
And
tell
Jessica
anybody.
probably even knows this person if I told her. So a neighbor of ours, I did a good thing, I thought. And my wife and I, we got, this was 15 years ago, a neighbor a gift who had a dog. She still has a dog, but that dog passed away. But at that time, we got the dog a gift, and it was new technology back then for a toy to do what Lamb Chop does. But even better, this toy made the sound that it looked like. So it looked like a trumpet. And what do they, when the horse race starts, there's a certain sound that it, or whatever it does, what,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Um, And whenever the dog would squeeze the toy, which this dog loved that toy at 3 in the morning too. So the dog would search around the house, eventually, even if she tried to hide it, find the toy at 3 in the morning, and she'd hear over and over and over.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. What a great
there are
friend you are,
downsides.
Steve. What a great
What
gift.
was the,
What a great
she
friend
did
you
not
are.
really.
What a great
She did not
gift.
think. No, she did not think that. The dog did, but she wasn't crazy about that idea. But it was a great. I miss that dog terribly. It's a wonderful dog. So, and in fact, when I have another sleeping dog story that's just N1, it's only me. The dog that years ago, lived across the hall from us, Boots Montgomery. We would,
Boots.
uh, yeah, Boots Montgomery. So Boots would usually growl at people and ask questions later,
Ooh,
and
okay.
wasn't the most "I want to meet you" dog. Bad
Yeah.
things happen in Boots' life, so I totally get it. But they wanted to go away on vacation, and I said
Yeah.
I'm happy to pet sit, but Boots has to get along. Boots got along fine with our dogs, and we had a cat then too, and Boots got along fine with the cat, but not with people. So I was the person taking care of Boots. I was going to have, so Boots tolerated me,
Hmm.
and less so tolerated my wife. And I wanted to improve upon our relationship. So I said, let's have a sleepover party. And I had Boots literally on the leash. Boots really didn't want to share the bed with me or not, because Boots
Hmm.
just wasn't sure. Most dogs that are aggressive are actually afraid. So I held the leash. Boots had nowhere to go. Boots got a decent night's sleep. I got barely that. But after that night, Boots was the only one. I was the only one that could, like, as much as the owners, work
Oh,
with Boots or deal with Boots, or and Boots often was with us. Often.
I love that story. Steve, I love that
Now
story.
I can't guarantee that it'll work for everyone by any means, but I think there is something, as you point out, to sharing your bed with. I'll bring in cats now, with any companion animal, a dog or a cat, but of course it's the cat's choice, you know. So
Right.
we don't we give dogs the choice to some extent, for sure. We encourage the dog to go up on the bed. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes there's a dog bed in the room and the dog
Hmm.
decides to jump on the bed. So there's certainly choice involved. With cats, we could
Yeah.
put the cat on the bed, but then the cat could be 5 rooms away 10 seconds later, you know. So
Right.
it's really up to the cat, who might come in the bedroom at 3 in the morning and sleep with you, might sleep on your head, as you point out, might sleep anywhere, because cats decide what they want to do when
That's a
they want to do it. And that's
that's what they
okay. I
do.
love, as much as I love sleeping with our dog, I even more so love sharing our bed or my space, because I had a cat named Roxy who I would go to sleep at night like this, because I knew within 20 seconds Roxy would be, oh, I'm not showing this. Roxy would be right there, you know. So, and I miss that.
She was a
Yeah.
cool cat.
I just
I liked Roxy.
I want to know about the is it called the love hormone? Is it the love whenever are they emitting that, Steve?
Did you just say
When
love boat?
I did say the love boat,
Oh,
it is
don't.
exciting and new. Oh, I can't
Well,
sing it because it's
sometimes it was.
trademark.
When Van Johnson got together with Sid Charisse, it was never the same.
Never the same. The love hormone
Oh,
is it the
oxytocin.
love
Yeah,
hormone? Yeah, the
yeah.
oxycontin. Talk to me about that because does it
Oxy-
emit? Is it and can it change? Not the drug oxycontin, but
no, it's oxytocin.
oxytocin.
Oxycontin is something else that I'd rather not talk about. But
Let's not talk about that. Let's not go there right
no,
now.
but oxytocin is real. And, as I alluded to earlier, it works on both sides of the leash, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
and studies have been done for a long time on the benefits of us living with dogs or cats, of
Mhm.
which it would be a whole different conversation. It would be hours long about this study, that study, and all over the world that demonstrate all sorts of evidence. We all heard about the ones that, our heart rate improves, our
Mhm.
cholesterol may improve. I mean, all these things. But there are other studies too that go deeper than that, that can actually support healing. So there's one study that demonstrates that if you have a broken leg, get a cat because purring actually promotes bone healing. Now, I am not saying you should go out tomorrow and break your leg to test this out, but according to at least one study, that is the case. It's not going to happen
That's
overnight,
fascinating.
but it makes a difference. Only
Interesting.
recently have studies been done the other way.
Okay.
Does living with us benefit dogs,
Ah,
especially if
okay.
we're a kind, loving family? And it turns out, just as it benefits us, and just as those love boat hormones you talked about do seem to go up, the same is true for dogs as it is for us. Several studies have been done looking at the brain waves of dogs and measuring hormones in their brain, seeing what the neurotransmitters are doing. And it turns out when dogs see a stranger, even dogs, friendly dogs that love everybody, the neurotransmitters do a different dance, if you will, to be not so
Okay.
technical. They do a different dance than if they see their person. There's a
Hmm.
difference.
I
So
I
it turns out to be true on both ends of that leash. And this is something, in fact, that Dr. Patrick Flynn and I will be talking about the human animal bond at the VMX Veterinary Conference next year in
oh,
Orlando, Florida, in relation to pain specifically. But we'll both
okay.
talk about how it works both ways. It benefits humans, but it benefits dogs as well.
Steve, I'm going to have to attend that because we're going to be there for Moose's March at VMX. So I'm very excited about that. Last question for you, Steve. If I was a brand new pet owner and I came to you and I said, Steve, I'm going to get a new dog. He is a French Bulldog, #1 dog in the nation, according to AKC. I'm thinking about sleeping with him. What would you recommend to me?
Um, Doing both, and let me explain what I mean. So, have the dog sometimes sleep with you if the dog so desires, and most dogs do.
Yeah,
But especially as puppies, I wouldn't do it as a young puppy necessarily because you may have accidents in your bed.
yeah.
But as the dog gets a bit older, but also teach your dog, which I've not done, to sleep in a doggy bed or something in your bedroom. And the reason for
Okay.
that is, let's fast forward the clock 12 years, and that dog either becomes incontinent or confused or develops canine cognitive dysfunction syndrome and paces in the middle of the night and all those
Mhm.
things that can happen. The biggest thing of all is pain, it's
Oh.
arthritis. So, how does a dog, now there are ramps, and many dogs can be trained to go up those ramps to get into bed.
Mhm.
But that's not always the case. So for all those reasons and more, I say teach your dog. So that way your dog at the age of 12 or however will actually also be comfortable sleeping in a
Mhm.
dog bed next to your bed.
Yeah. So because you've established a pattern and they're not used to sleeping in the bed or in the crate, and all of a sudden you're forcing them to do something, causing further discomfort. I love that.
Absolutely.
Steve, I love having you, and we're going to bring you back, and we're going to talk about veterinary telehealth, which is something that you're very passionate about right now. And you and Dr. Gail Golab are going across the country talking about this. But I love you. Thank you for being on with us today. You can spend your time, your afternoon with anyone. You spend it with us. Thank you so much for being with us today on Pets or Family Podcast.
But you didn't thank Jessica.
Well,
I'm always quiet during the part. She never gives me a chance to talk. I I just run the back end of everything, so we're used
Well,
to
I'll
it.
say it. Thank you, Jessica.
thank you, Jessica. Love
Steve.
you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh. I love Steve Dale. Can I just say that, Steve Dale? I love you, and I love having you. You always bring so much fun and energy, and it's like this lovely thing. And he's so knowledgeable. He's so knowledgeable about so many things, and I love how he talked about that, and he gave background about the wolves of days gone by, and talks about
Mhm.
where we are now, and where we're going, and how and how it's really personal preference for the person. Okay, you have a dog snoring story. Is that correct?
Yeah, but really quick, I love his cat. She's no longer with him, Roxy. I used to be
Roxy.
his pet sitter a long time ago, so I knew Roxy. I actually took care of her. She was like the coolest little cat, but she had like this evil look all the time. Not that she was evil, she was super sweet, but she just always looked really angry. She just had
Oh
this
my
angry
gosh.
look. Yeah. I have to look and see if I can find a picture of Roxy. Steve, I think I have a
Oh my
picture of
god.
her because I swear she's got the coolest look. But anyway, the snoring, we talk about snoring. I mean, you and I both have Frenchies now, right? And
Yes, correct.
I know Frank and Brutus both can snore, but in our house we have Alexa, and Alexa has this really cool item on it that you can put you can set a thing on it saying that if you hear somebody snoring, it'll shut things down. So like if you accidentally fall asleep, it'll shut like your lights off, your TV off, or whatever. For those people that are very connected to all your electronics, I being the non-nerd, my household is very nerdy, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So my household set that up, and God bless my little Teddy, you know what I mean, for a little shih tzu he could snore, right? So we totally forgot that we had that set up because none of us snored that loud. So we would go upstairs at night because Teddy slept downstairs in our living room all the time because he had doggy dementia. So we were afraid to like put him anywhere where stairs were. So we would go like to go to the bathroom or something, and then we'd come down and like everything would be turned off, and we could not figure it out for the life of us for months. We thought we were having power outages. It wasn't. It was.
No.
Yeah, we were thought the power kept
Oh
tripping.
my gosh. That's
It was
crazy.
it was from Teddy snoring. He would sit there and she would turn everything off. I was
Oh
so mad.
my
When we
god.
finally figured it out, we had to turn that setting off because it was Teddy. I mean, this little 19-pound shih tzu. God bless his soul. I love that dog so much, but I thought it was hilarious when we figured out months we thought we were
I
having
know.
power
Yeah.
problems. We called the electric company 4 times to figure out what was wrong with our electric.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was
gosh,
Teddy.
that's crazy. Now Frank doesn't snore, at least that I know of. But and I don't think I snore, but I don't. Nobody's ever said to me that I snore. So I don't know if I snore or not. And if he hasn't told me I snore, and I don't know if he snores because I'm sleeping so soundly with him right now.
Does
It's
he not
just
snore when he takes
crazy.
a nap?
I am.
Okay.
No,
Well, he's got it. He's
he
the
doesn't.
brother from another
No,
mother because Brutus snores. Yeah,
yeah. He's not doesn't he's sleeping right now, and he doesn't snore. He does. I mean, it's funny. He trills when he barks, like, like a little trill sound, which is hilarious. But
Oh yes.
I've
No,
never
Berta
heard him
snores.
snore.
Berta
Ever.
snores.
Uh-uh.
He's right up there. He'd give Teddy a run for his money. We
Oh
got a
my
snorer.
gosh.
But he doesn't talk.
Oh my God.
So
Well, Jet. Oh, see, this one will talk. This one will talk back now. He talks to me all the time. He's like, rah, rah, rah. And we have a little puppy next door, Jasper, who's a little miniature poodle and just like a fluff nugget. He looks like a teddy bear, and got the teddy bear paws and like black. And that's Shannon's new dog, my friend Shannon, Jack's new brother. So anyway, so Jasper's been coming over, and so Jasper and Frank have been playing, and they're like, rah, 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 and Frank's like, I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. No, this is my toy, blah, 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 you know. And he's in like his little like, but it's so cute. It's so stinking cute. So anyway, hey, this has been lovely. I just want to give a couple shout outs if I can right now. I'm going to give a shout out to Cuddly. Cuddly. Oh my gosh, Cuddly. You sent Moose's March for our upcoming senior dog promotion an incredible haul. And we cannot wait to share that with Animal SOS and the great people of Columbus, Georgia. Cuddly, you're doing amazing things. And Veronica, thank you for setting this up for me. But Cuddly, I received about, 6 boxes of haul for the upcoming promotion we're going to have. And we'll talk more about that from our friends at Volition Veterinary, but Animal SOS and Affordable Veterinary Care is going to be doing this with us. But Cuddly, you're rock stars. Thank you for all you do for rescues and just, gosh darn it, you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to give a shout out to our friends at Farm and Yard. You guys have been absolutely fantastic supporting us and just and for Moose's March as well, and just a lot of stuff happening and just going on. And we're so appreciative of the people that support us, Forged Informed, and you guys, we're rocking right now in YouTube. I don't know how that happened, but I'm going to say thank you all for watching us, and we're so appreciative of you guys, and we hope we keep you entertained. I promise not to cut Jessica off and let her talk sometimes.
I'm the quiet back end person, I guess. You know what I mean? No, I'm not. I'm just on the podcast. I'm just the quiet back end. I'm just here for looks.
Oh,
I just think,
yes, you are. Beauty.
Yeah, I was gonna say
beauty and brains both.
Yeah, there's no
Just
beast. It's beauty and beauty. We
both.
both have a little beast. We have little miniature beasts. I was gonna say I had to take mine out of the room before we started because he was just obnoxious. So.
And with that note, I've got to take mine out. So, Jessa, thank you for you as always. I love you.
All right. We'll
Moving
talk to
back
everybody
with
next
you.
week.
You're my heart.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Pets Are Family. You can find us on all the channels now. Yes, all the channels now. So make sure you share us with your friends, your families, and your coworkers, and anybody that has a pet. Make sure you like us, give us your feedback, tell us if anything that you want us to talk about, all that fun stuff. You can reach me at jessica@petsourfamily.net or Tricia@petsourfamily.net. Thank you for everything that you guys do, but make sure you like us, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. You can always see what we're up to. And we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of the people that support us. We love every one of you, and we can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye.